Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Meoni of Ace Games TV Crescent, and we're running down the days for Mists of Pandaria's release on the 25th of September, including a video every day on the Crescent commemorating a part of the Mists of Pandaria beta that we have access to that's worth sharing with you guys. Today's episode marks only 4 days until the expansion's release. Now today's episode is out a little bit late, I apologise for that in advance, however better late than never in my opinion. Now without further ado, now in each expansion we've had like Dalaran and Shatra, which we have both used as a sort of stepping stone between places. Now Blizzard have taken out the Sanctuary element and there is a Horde specific area and an Alliance specific area. So we're going to be looking at the Horde one today. This is the Shrine of the Two Moons, the Horde version. There is also an Alliance base in the same zone called the Shrine of the Seven Stars. This is essentially identical to the Horde version which we're showing off today, so that's why we're only showing the Horde version. If you can just imagine a mirrored version, that's pretty much it. So I try to find a video looking at this area, and there's not many videos out that actually show the layout of the place and where you can find things, and I think it's best to be prepared in advance so you know where you're going for the relative things that you're looking for, including the Black Prince legendary questline, amongst other things, and the daily hubs. Starting left to right on the base of the shrine, we have all of these quest givers slash reputation vendors. Starting at the far left, we have the Angler's representative here, who gives you the first quest in the chain for the Anglers and the fishing related quests. Now what you can get from this is essentially small cosmetic items and mini pets, which is a really cool idea. Now just along from here we're looking at the Tiller's representative, who starts a quest chain for the Tillers. If you don't know what the Tillers is, basically you're doing some farming. Again, the rewards are pretty much mini pets and cosmetic items and other good stuff like that, along with a few dailies I believe, which are quite fundamental to have. Speaking of dailies, usually you would see a quest that takes you to the Order of the Cloud Serpents area. I'll show that in a future vid probably, but essentially this person will normally give you a breadcrumb quest for that, where you can get one of these Cloud Serpent mounts eventually, as well as some gear from the vendor. Now the reason she hasn't given me this quest right now is because I've already done it, and I'm already on the dailies like a good little warlock. So moving on. Now over here is a hark back to previous expansions, where we had to do a dungeon daily quest, where we had to go and kill a particular boss for a daily quest. In this case, Challenger Wooly awards you for killing a daily challenge mode. In this case it's the challenge mode for Jade Vaults, in which case you'd have to do that and finish it to be able to hand this in, and the reward is some Valor and some gold. So there you go, dungeon quest dailies are back. So next on the list is Elder Lao. This is the Charm Maker. If you've seen my previous videos you shall probably know how important this guy is, as he gives the Elder Charms of Good Fortune quest, which essentially results in free loot from raid bosses for you. So if you don't check anyone else out, be sure to check this guy out in particular. And why would you not? This panda is absolutely charming. Moving on. Next up is Sangbo, who's the representative of the Shadow Pan. This guy gives you a quest to get revered with the Shadow Pan before he will share any of his knowledge with you, essentially any of his treasures. This guy in particular is definitely worth going for. This reputation faction unlocks a lot of pre-raid best in slot gear, so you definitely want to go on this. And to get revered basically involves doing quests and killing mobs, so not particularly difficult, and certainly something you should be doing if you are a raider. Now before we go to the next one, just next on the centre area of the terrace here on the ground floor is Lena Stonebrush. Now she is not really that important, but she gives you basically some insight into the Lore Walkers and where to find them, and for future reference you can find the Lore Walkers and that entire quest chain, awarding you with some lesser charms of good fortune on top of Mogashan Palace, which I've highlighted on the map here, slightly above the actual dungeon. Next up is Weng the Merciful, representative of the Golden Lotus. Now the Golden Lotus is a different reputation faction which you must gain reputation with and unlock the vendor via doing quests in the Valley of the Eternal Blossoms for this guy. Level 90 quests and dailies unlock, which basically results in you getting some pre-raid best in slot items again, and obviously the other rewards that come with it, including a mount. Next up is the representative of the August Celestials and their quartermaster, Sage Lotus Bloom. She basically says that you need to become revered or more to be able to buy any of the items from her, but she does offer items at a price of justice, which are pre-raid best in slot items, which are some really nice epics here I'm showing you. So it's definitely worth doing this. To get revered, you're going to be needing to kill stuff in the Dread Wastes, which is on the far west of the map of Pandaria. Go there and start killing mobs and grind your way up, and then you'll be able to get these wonderful rewards. I plan on doing this on release, and I recommend you guys do as well. A lot of these rewards are nice and shiny epics and blues that are pre-raid best in slot, but also a lot of these vendors will allow you to get access to a large variety of mounts, so if you are a mount collector and a raider alike, these are definitely the places to be for you. Now the ground floor is pretty much your quest hub, so upstairs we're going to be looking at some more utility areas along with some vendors that might be of some interest. One of the first things you may notice up here is there's a large outdoor section. Now on here there's a particular vendor we're going to look at first. This is Donkey. Now he awards you in exchange for Spirits of Harmony. Now Spirits of Harmony are crafting materials which you can either find on mobs or you can get from various other means and quests alike. But these are used in exchange for various things. You can get the cooking tokens of Miss of Pandaria in exchange one-on-one, as well as the artifacts for archaeology one-on-one, and a lot of other things as well, including wool, the enchanting mats, and various things like that, a little bit like what we had with the Justice vendor in Orgrimmar previously. So yeah, you should be familiar with that. The Alliance also have exactly the same sort of vendor up there as well on the Alliance side. Along with that vendor is also a stable master and a battle pet trainer, and obviously a flight master, and the Cloud Serpent riding master here. To get Cloud Serpent riding, you'll need to go and get that from the daily area relative, but you can go here and you can train the Miss of Pandaria riding, which is the wisdom of the four winds, which you'll need to actually fly a mount in Pandaria once you hit 90. There you go, there's a flight master who uses kites to get around Pandaria, just like a normal griffin flyer. So let's go inside the main area. You saw to the left there, there's actually some target dummies for you to test out your DPS on, so you don't even have to go to Orgrimmar for that. When you first step through this corridor, it's quite daunting. This is the Hall of the Crescent, with that giant statue in the middle there. Basically there are rooms leading off to the left and the right, and there's also the upstairs section on both the left and right as well, and we're going to take you a brief tour around all of the things and where you can find them. Now the first way we're going to go is this chamber to the left. This is the Chamber of the Masters. The first thing you'll notice is the first aid trainer. There's a lot of trainers in here and various vendors for various trade good professions such as blacksmithing and tailoring and such like. So they're all in here that award all of the items, such as the coarse thread for example, all those sort of vendors that you'll need to actually level your professions. Now that's pretty much it for this left corridor, but there is a set of stairs that goes upstairs, so let's go that way. These stairs lead up to the Chamber of Wisdom. Now this chamber is currently unused and it'll be interesting to see what it's going to be used for eventually, but so far it's just a room full of bookcases that reach all the way to the top of this very high ceilinged room, all the way to the top of the ceiling. Now there's only one NPC in here at the minute that doesn't seem to do anything, but I'm really looking forward to see what they do with this. You'll notice that a lot of the architecture of this entire terrace is incredible. I really like the art style and the sort of widget items that they've included into this game. It's really nice looking. So once you go through this archway, you lead onto the first sort of overlooking balcony. Now through here you'll see Armourer Relna. Now she, according to what she says, will become the vendor for the challenge mode gear. Now you may have seen on MMO Champion some of the gear that you can get from basically golding all of the challenge mode stuff. It's pretty epic looking, but she offers you a little bit of a preview on these dummies here of all of the shoulders and headpieces of each class of the challenge mode gear. So here we have the hunter gear and the druid gear, shaman gear, and then warlock gear. Oh, I love that. That's really nice. So yeah, it's all here on display, but whether or not she will actually become a vendor or not, or what you have to do to unlock that, is besides me at the moment, but obviously she might be the NPC you get the stuff off once you've earned it through challenge mode. Go back into the previous chamber and enter the other room, and you'll get into the Jade Vaults. This is essentially where your guild banks will be, and access to your own personal bank. This particular room is quite astonishing as well, but this just serves as a massive bank. Moving on. This is the Hall of Tranquility with a fountain that is not fishable in. I have tried. I wondered if there would be any achievements relative to it, like there was in Dalaran, but apparently not. This guy just actually sells you a fishing rod, but doesn't actually allow you to fish in the pond, which is a bit of a missed opportunity, Blizzard. Not particularly happy with that, but anyway, moving on. So going through this door will lead you back to the main entrance sort of area below the statue. So let's move on to the right side, or the east wing. Hall of Secrets is next, which is full of ethereals, which offer the usual ethereal trade, which is transmogrification, void storage, and of course reforging. This is a fundamental area which you'll be using quite a lot, I imagine, and you can find it in the back here of the first room in the east wing. Next up through this door is the Imperial Mercantile. Now this room is probably my favourite. It offers portals to pretty much every major city in the game, including Orgrimmar, Thunderbluff, Silver Moon, Undercity, you name it. And along with those portals, it includes portals to both Shatra and Dalaran. Now this is something that I'm not sure if it will go live like this, but if it does, this will be my favourite hangout place, and I imagine a lot of other people will be thinking the same, because it's simply, for utility purposes, the best place to set your Hearthstone now. The next room is just a place for food and drink vendors, meat vendors. This is the Kegery, which offers alcoholic drink, along with a food and drink vendor which sells food and drink relative to your level, along with stuff that is obviously from much earlier in the game as well. Now this room serves as a corridor basically to the next room, which is probably going to be the most important for you, as this is where you start the Black Prince Legendary questline. Now I do plan on releasing a video all about the Black Prince Legendary questline, but for future reference, this is where you start the questline with Kurung Gaskhead, the bartender of this particular inn, on the eastern side of the upper eastern area of the building, which we'll go into in further detail in a future video. But for now, let's go back down and explore the other half of the building. Just below, and also in the entrance to the east side, behind the set of stairs here to the right, is the engineering trainer along with the engineering only auction house. It'll be good eventually if they make this a normal auction house, but as of yet, this particular area does not allow access to a auction house, so you will still be needing to go back to Orgrimmar or your nearest city for that. However, moving on to the next rooms, these are rooms on the east side. This final room of the building hosts the second inn of the entire building. This is Summer Rest. This is an inn/massage parlour, so you can set your Hearthstone here and have a massage, and hopefully get a happy ending. Hopefully you've had a happy ending of sorts, and have enjoyed this video. If you have, leave a like below and a comment of what you think of the new city-type building that we have as the Horde. My name's been Meoni of Ace Games TV Clismcast, and I've been counting down the days to Miss of Pandaria's release. There is only 4 days remaining, and I am counting down the days on my calendar, releasing a video every day to commemorate something from a Miss of Pandaria beta. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, thanks for watching it, and I'll see you next time.